with us, Simeon and Rachel, director-producer of the movie Splintered. So we just saw Splintered, you know, it's a werewolf flick and everything like that. Can you just tell us a little bit how you came to the idea, or how you came to the fact that you want to do something with werewolves?
Oh, or was it? Is this what? Yeah. You know, I wanted to make a film that was like almost an anti-horror film, because it's supposed to be about the idea that there are much worse things in the world than supernatural and fantasy beasts, that actually human beings are far more scary than any monsters we can conjure up in the mind. So the idea was that, you know, this could be a monster, this could be a werewolf, this could be some mythical beast, this could be some supernatural creature. No, it turns out to be a man, simply a very dangerous and mixed up human being. And so that was the philosophy behind the film. I wanted to make something that was actually kind of twisting the concept of what we should really be scared of.
So did you have a lot of trouble finding actors, and because you're working from the UK? So is there a good film industry there to release your project?
Hold on. So first of all, did we find trouble finding actors? No, there's a lot of good actors in the UK, but finding someone to play the bad guy. Okay, so there's two characters in the film. There's Gavin and Vincent, who are brothers, and we cast the same actor to play both characters. So although he looks quite different, it's the same actor, which I don't know, you do not realise. Did you realise? Yeah.
No.
It's the same actor that plays both Gavin and Vincent. So to shoot those sequences was actually really quite complex, because he's fighting himself a lot of the time. So we had to use stunt doubles, and we had to shoot sequences using the actor in one role, and then we'd have to come back the next day and shoot the scene from another angle with the actor in the other role, which proved to be quite complex. But finding an actor to play that kind of character was not easy. There are not that many actors that will go to those kind of levels, go to those kind of depths to play those kind of characters. So Stephen, the guy who played it, has a reputation for being a very intense and a real method actor. He's in a lot of, he's been in a lot of movies, and a lot of TV in the UK. He's not a huge star, but people recognise him. But he's certainly got a reputation for playing extreme characters. So he was one of the few actors that we kind of identified to play this role. And we looked at a couple of other characters, a couple of actors who also have a reputation for being kind of playing intense and very psychological roles. And they all tend to have a method acting background. Stephen certainly had a method acting background. He really took on that role as if he had become that person. So most of the time on the set, he was that person. So you couldn't really talk to him as himself when you were directing him. He would be in the role most of the time, which is kind of weird.
Okay, so Rachel, it's a very complex way of shooting. I think it's also a very expensive way of shooting. Did you get some funding for that, or was it also a hard way?
We started Not a Number in April 2007, and we started fundraising. We set up an investment scheme whereby wealthy people can invest into our scheme and they will get tax breaks. That's how we raised the finance for Splintered. So, and it was a big roller coaster ride. You know, one minute we were funded, the next minute we weren't, then we were, then we weren't, then we were. And by April 2008, a year later, we were in production, so we raised the finance. But it's tricky. And as although we had been pledged the money, every week, only I and the accountant knew, but every single week we only had enough money to pay for the next week. So nobody else knew other than me, but I had to keep raising finance all the way through shooting, and as it was, I was very fortunate that everybody who pledged money actually came through and gave us the money in the end. But it was a bit touch and go throughout the filming. But in terms of the actual, like the way that we shot on the Red One system, which was fantastic. It saved us thousands of pounds because we were able to see that very day what we had shot. If there was a problem, we could just go back and pick up maybe the next day, or the first assistant director would reschedule. But in terms of me and you know, Simeon obviously had a design background which helped enormously. He'd made sure that he knew exactly what he was shooting. He'd storyboarded the whole thing. He'd even done animatics, so there were fly-throughs of particularly the big stunts. So in the scene where Sophie is running across rooftops and jumping over big drops, and that was choreographed right to the, you know, the nth degree. So there wasn't anything. We didn't go over budget. Sim, was professional, and he had everything. He had everything sorted, and it was a big relief to me. So yeah, it was fun, and I really enjoyed it.
So, but you're married? Is that is it difficult to work with your partner in a film? I imagine there's a lot of trouble sometimes between you, the director and the producer.
We didn't talk for a month. No, it was fine. It was okay, wasn't it?
Yeah, it shouldn't have worked. However, because we are in a relationship, we had a shorthand. So, whereby, if we weren't happy with something, we could just say to each other, I'm really unhappy with this part, or whatever. I don't want you to do that. And
she said that a lot.
Yeah, I did say that a lot. However, if we hadn't been in the relationship, I'm not sure it would have been as easy to
have like a shorthand.
Yeah. So for us, on Splintered, it worked really well, and we were there for each other. So yeah, it kind of helped.
You have a background in TV, I heard. You're worked on a lot of TV programs. You say that goodbye forever and start another productions, or is it something you do in between and then maybe go back to TV?
Well, at the moment, yeah, I spent 19 years as a director and producer for an independent production company, primarily doing TV commercials and a lot of corporate video, which you would think is quite a huge leap from corporate video to film producing, but actually it worked very well for me because I had, when you're raising finance, you need to be talking to corporate structures, so that kind of worked very well for me. At the moment, we're not looking at developing any TV, but I'm in the middle. I'm about to start a 5-slate deal, so raising finance for our next 5 movies. So we don't really have time to do any corporate videos. However, that's not to say that cash flow. You do need the cash flow. So we may look at doing a few little corporates in between time, but my focus is very much on raising finance.
So, Simeon, this was your first movie. Are there any plans for a second one soon?
You mean like a sequel or just a different film? Yeah, a different movie. I've been working on a script for a kind of a ghost story, a kind of haunted house movie.
So again, horror.
It's kind of horror, but it's maybe a little bit more. It might be the kind of thing that my parents might watch, as well as the kind of people that might watch Splintered, so it might have a broader audience. And it's pretty scary, but I'm a big fan of films like The Haunting, the original Haunting, I don't know if any of you have seen that, the Robert Wise movie, black and white film. I think it's a really scary movie, but it doesn't rely on gore for its suspense and its fear. And I admire that. And films like The Others I thought was very good. So it's kind of in that territory. So the next film I think will be, it's called The Cherub House at the moment, but it may change its title, we'll see. So another draft or two to do on the screenplay, but Rach is looking at raising the finance for that at the moment, so that may well be the next film, yeah.
Okay, well, we hope to find the next film here on the Razor Reel.
Yeah.
And thank you for coming over, thank you for presenting a movie, and well, we have a little present for you, and I just want to ask you if you want to sign the book as well.
Yeah, great, thank you.
Thank you for being here. Give them, put your hands together for both of them.